first page. Do you have questions on the first page? You, of course. Okay. Hold that thought. Anyone else have questions on the first page? Okay. For the second page. So the speed of sound in water is 1.46 times 10 to the third meters per second. The sound of speed in air is 3.31 times 10 to the second meters per second. How much faster does the sound travel in water than in air? So since we're looking for how much faster, we're looking at the difference between them. So we're going to be subtracting the water minus the air. And when we subtract our scientific notation, the exponents have to be the same. So I can either make this 2 or make this 3, but if you have positive exponents, it would be better to make it into the bigger one. So I'm going to change this to be 3. And because I went up 1, I'm going to move the decimal to the left. And then once the exponents are the same, actually subtract the numbers. 1.46 minus 0.331. What would that give us? Go ahead and subtract these two numbers. If you haven't already, tell me what that would be. 1.129. And then times 10 to the third. So that would be. Other questions on this page? Let's see. On to page 3. I'm also going to talk about the rules again, just so we have them fresh in our memory. Any others on this page?
11.
So let's first talk about these rules. We haven't named them product power quotient, but we've talked about them and know what the rules are. This is just a shortened way to remember. If we are multiplying like bases, what are we doing with the exponents? Adding. If we are raising a power to another power, what are we doing with the exponents? Multiplying. If we are dividing like bases, what are we doing with the exponents? Subtracting. And then our negative exponent rule, if we have a negative exponent, we're going to take the base and flip it to the reciprocal and make the exponent positive, whether that's in the numerator or denominator. If you want to add your 0 exponent rule, anything to the 0 power except your special cases is 1. So taking those rules and applying them here for number 11, we are dividing like bases, so we're subtracting the exponents. So this would be a to the first, b to the third, c to the 0. But anything to the 0 is 1, so that would just become 1, and the c would disappear. So just a, b to the third. We have like bases inside the parentheses, so we can divide first, or you can deal with the exponent on the outside and multiply first. It doesn't matter. Which one would we rather? Divide and subtract, or multiply? You guys choose.
Multiply.
So if we're multiplying first, and if that's not what you want to do, divide first. Multiply all of the exponents. So this would be 4 squared, x to the 8th, y to the 4th, over 6 squared, x squared, y squared. And then we figure out what 4 squared and 6 squared is, and then subtract the exponents. So 4 squared would give us, I'm going to write this down here. What's 4 squared? 16. 6 squared is 36. If we're subtracting our exponents, this would be x to the 4th and y squared. I'm sorry, x to the 6th and y squared. And then we can simplify 36 over 36, which would be what? So 4x to the 6, y squared over 9. Questions on that? We have to deal with the power on the outside of the parentheses first. We have a to the 12th, b to the negative 3, over a to the negative 4th, b to the negative 4th. Multiply your exponents. And then you could either subtract the exponents as is, or take the negative exponents and flip them, and then deal with those as is. It doesn't matter. If we were subtracting, 12 minus a negative 4 would be a to the 16th. Negative 3 minus a negative 4 would be b to the 1st. Other questions on this page? Go on to page 4. Questions on that page? Any others? We'll start with that one. I'll rewrite this so you can see it a little bit more clearly. 3x to the negative second power y times 6xy to the negative third. We are multiplying like basis, so what are we doing with the exponents? Actually multiply the numbers, so 3 times 6 will give us 18. Negative 2 plus 1 would be x to the negative 1. 1 plus a negative 3 would be x to the negative 2. Both the x and y, is what that's supposed to be, would come down. So it would be 18 over x y squared. Other questions on this page?
22.
22, you said? So this says negative 2m squared n to the third all over m squared n to the fourth, in parentheses, all raised to the third. Another example where you have a choice, divide the like bases and subtract the exponents, or deal with the exponent. I'm going to divide in this case first. We have negative 2, 2 minus 2 would give us m to the 0, 3 minus 4 would give us n to the negative 1. This is much further here. The n would come down. I'm sorry, we'll do that last. Multiply everything to the third. So negative 2 to the third, m still to the 0, n to the negative third. And then negative 2 to the third would be negative 8. M to the 0 is 1, so that would disappear. N to the negative third comes down. So that was C. Negative 8 over n to the third. Do we have any questions about 23 through 33? And then we'll go on to the next page. So your perimeter and area questions are really your objective 3. Some of it is your objective 3. So perimeter, you're adding up all the sides of whatever your shape is. Area of a rectangle is length times width. So for the perimeter, if we're adding up all the sides, you could add them up, this plus this, and then again, because remember it's the same on the opposite sides. Or you could do 2 times each piece. So I'll do that because of lack of space. So the perimeter would be 2 times the length, 4x squared y, plus 2 times the width, 13x. And you would multiply both of those to get 8x squared y plus 26x. Those can't be simplified, they're not like terms, that would just be your answer. Area would be our length times width. We're going to multiply the two together. 4x squared y times 13x. We're multiplying like bases, so add the exponents. Actually multiply 4 and 13, tell me what that is. Did we multiply 4 and 13? What did you say? 52. 52 x to the third y would be the area. Alright, on to page 5. Most of these are similar to what we've seen. There are some repeats in there. Any of those? since this isn't multiplying, raising a power to a power, or dividing, this is just subtracting. Negative 7 minus 2, because these have the same exponents, would be negative 9a squared. The exponents don't change when you're combining like this. Okay, page 6, questions there? If you had something like the area of a trapezoid, just so that you have this, I would give you what the area formula is. So in this case, it's 1/2 times base 1, you can choose which one that is, plus base 2 times that. Page 7 is a repeat of page 3. So skip that one. Any questions on page 8? Ignore 11 and 12. Or questions on page 9. On page 9. So you know area of a rectangle is length times width. So we're going to multiply these two together. And this is a binomial times a binomial, so you have to use one of your methods, double distributive, FOIL, the box method. Which of those do you want to use? So if we're using the box method, I'm going to do that over here. I have 2x minus 5. It doesn't really matter which side I put this on, and x plus 1 on the side. Multiply each piece. So 2x times x would give us 2x squared. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. 2x times 1 is 2x, and negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Remember, when you have a binomial times a binomial, you're going to end up with 3 terms at the end, 4, and then combine the terms. Your final answer, 2x squared. Combine your like terms to get negative 3x, and then minus 5. Other last minute questions? Go ahead and clear off your desk except for your calculator and pencil. If I didn't get to check your SOL review, leave that out. So these 2 tables and SOL have your SOL review.